You know, when you're a sedentary person, the really good news is that even doing a very little can help you a lot. So if you're a lot more active already and you add in one more activity, it's not going to change your fitness level a whole lot or do a whole lot more for you. But if you're starting out kind of at the bottom, you can go up very quickly by just being more active. It's a relative thing. If you're doing nothing and you start doing anything that gets you even partway towards the guidelines, the recommended amounts of physical activity, then you are going to benefit health-wise from that. If you are doing more than the guidelines, most of the research suggests that you will gain some additional benefit from that. But the biggest gain is going from nothing to something. And then beyond that, the gains are smaller. And so, yeah, you might get an additional 5 or 10% reduction in risk for this or that, but if you can drop your risk 50% by doing anything in the first place, you've had the greatest gain. So I think that really is the first place to start with most people. We do have to address the behavior change and overcoming those barriers, because that really is the sticking point. It's not that people don't know that they should be active. Everybody seems to know that. It's the actual doing it part that requires more of an intervention. We keep working on the environment, so we make sure that there are places where people can walk that are safe and appropriate. We make the workplace more amenable to being active while we're there. We start being better role models ourselves, where we're actually doing what we're telling people to do instead of just telling them to do it. That's actually one of the things I've been working with the American Diabetes Association about. I finally have worked with them to set up a physical fitness department. They've never had this before at the American Diabetes Association. So it's part of an overreaching lifestyle management team, which was not in place before. They had the dietitians, but nothing that related to the other appropriate things, including behaviorists. So we're starting to move in that direction. Everybody's starting to realize it's really a problem. We're all having metabolic problems that are preventable. So we need to just keep working in that direction. There have been a number of fitness crazes that have come and gone, like Pilates and so forth. But the high intensity interval training is the idea that it was even in the front page of the Wall Street Journal one section that talked about just doing 1 minute of physical activity a day, and you get all the benefits of doing like 30 minutes of continuous activity. The whole idea behind that is that doing something at a higher intensity actually brings metabolic things into play that you don't necessarily get if you're just doing moderate walking. So there is some benefit to doing higher intensity intervals. The problem is that at this point that those intervals are not well defined, and we really don't know what would be the best thing to recommend. And I can tell you from a population health standpoint that it's probably not going to be widely adopted by the majority of people who would benefit the most from doing it. So people who are overweight or are new to exercise or already have a metabolic condition or other comorbidities. So I think the take-home message from all of that, the information that's coming forth from that, is that it is probably good to add faster intervals into anything you do. So if you're walking around, just walk a little bit faster for a minute and then slow back down and add those kind of intervals in. If you're on an exercise training machine and it does a little hill profile those are fine. And that is probably something we should do in order to better increase our cardiorespiratory fitness and to manage blood sugar. But in terms of it being something that everyone has to adopt, I would really caution against advising your patients to go out and just do 1 minute of all-out exercise and then they're done for the day.